badges printed out, both retailer and manufacturer, and then they get that from there. We can extrapolate, how many attendees they have, and then it's, was it a down year? Was it an up year? How does it compare to other years? Kind of a thing. And then they kind of just they go through some very basic housekeeping as far as possibly some of the legislative stuff, and then it's open for questions. And we're able to ask questions of Scott Pierce. We're able to ask questions of the president and Josh Bursky and whoever else is in the room for them. I remember last year, Charlie Minato asked, like, you guys are starting to do press releases. You're starting to put out press releases. Are you trying to compete with us? Like, is that the goal? And they were like, no, absolutely, absolutely not. I'm not sure if I believe it anymore, just based on kind of the feeling that I got this year from the trade show, from the folks inside the PCA. I kind of feel like, again, they're treating us like those damn bloggers, kind of like they did before I was in the game, before a lot of us were in the game, where they felt like we were just there for free cigars. And that's not.
Who's the audience of the PCA? I mean, you got
it's the industry.
Well,
it's
okay.
retailers. It's retailers.
Retailers, the biggest. Yeah. I mean, the guys that don't go, they need guys like James to tell them what the hell just happened. Because the show, right, even if you do go to the show, it's already it's so confusing as it is. And when I used to work at a cigar shop many years ago, the owner of the shop would go to the trade show, come back, and then watch interviews about the trade show, because even if he was just there, because he wants, it's like going to a game and going home watching ESPN for the highlights. Like you still kind of want to run down of what happened, the explanation, what came out, because there's no way any retailer can go to every booth. Unless they have like 8 people working on it, it's impossible.
No, absolutely, it's impossible. And I think the good retailers do that. I think the good retailers do watch us and read Half Wheel and watch Coop and listen to some of the other folks that are out there. The good ones do.
Well, you watched your first episode, first part 1, were people I didn't get a chance to go see. So I got to meet them and listen to them and talk to them because I didn't get to see them.
Well, yeah. And look, for us, it's hard because we're video / audio format. And so for us, it's hard to get to everybody. There was probably over 200 booths this year. I'm just guesstimating. I feel like it was as big as last year's show. So I think there were over 200 booths. And we only got to 60 of them. And even at 60 of them, to have 7 hours worth of raw interview footage, I mean, that's a testament to the manufacturers who are willing to speak with us and take the time to talk with us for more than just 2 or 3 minutes, where we get a 5 to 10 minute good interview with them on what's going on with them, why they're doing what they're doing. I think Dan Thompson from McAuliffe is one of the best at that, is really succinctly letting our audience know what they're up to, why they're up to it. And I'm not trying to speak ill of anybody else, but you could tell who has media training and who doesn't at the trade show. It is immediately clear who in their corporate former lives have had media training and then who hasn't. And Dan's one of those guys he's had media training. He knows what the talking points are, and he's able to go through them. He's able to answer questions in a intelligent way, where sometimes guys are hemming and hawing and and on and trying to figure out what they want to say, which isn't a bad thing. I think there's genuineness to that. But I also feel like Dan comes across as being completely genuine and down to earth. So I'm excited for next year because I think like you're going next year, right, Dylan? Well, you're going to be at the trade show next year, right? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
What were you asking?
You're going to be at the trade show next year?
So yes, we'll be there next year. We were going to go this year because my wife's expecting any day now.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So that's so we had to kind of cancel any plans to go. We were still debating about it anyways, but that kind of made it final. But yeah, we will be there next year. Hopefully you'll be there, and they don't kick you out by then. But
they might after this. I don't know.
yeah, I would keep it. I'd keep it playful. I wouldn't go after any.
Yeah, I'm not going after him. I think it was a good show.
Because you don't know. You don't know. I mean, there's
no. It's just that's the feeling I get. It's a gut feeling.
And media has complained about the trade show. Retailers have complained about I mean, I do think though, if you look at the numbers 2 years ago, it was kind of on the cusp of, are we still doing this? Is this, is there going to be a trade show? That's where the conversation was. And now it's more like, it's coming back. It's getting better. And honestly, now the criticism has been on us, the manufacturers. I think a lot of manufacturers have are the ones making the mistakes at the show, not shipping product on time. There's always going to be something. But if you take away media, I promise you, if you take away, or reduce the media at the show, no one's going to care about the show, about what we're doing. We don't have media as it is. We barely have enough people to cover this stuff. It's not like a competitive segment of the market. There's nobody talking about the show. There's nobody talking about us. I mean, it's like I could probably count on one finger how many people there are that actually are active. You, Coop, Half Wheel. There's some guys that are there every year. They do stuff in between. They're active. They're doing what they need to do. You don't need to remove them. You barely have them attending as it is, and I would definitely not charge them. What am I? They're there for a job. Why would you charge them money? It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, we're there. We're there to help them out. And I think we'll continue to do it as long as they'll have us. There was a conversation in the last couple of years about influencers and what influencers should be there and what influencers shouldn't, and what constitutes an influencer and what is media, who is media, am I media, what is media? And I think that's changed over the years. I think the traditional definition of media doesn't apply anymore, and thus we're media. Like, sorry, like we're it.
Well, I'll give you.
Go ahead.
I'll give you an opinion in a sense. I've not been to the trade show, but I've been involved in other trade shows for other industries. And it's a very important thing to be able to get together and be around the human component, because cigars are so people driven. I mean, difficult when you're looking at a picture or you're reading about it. There's only so many words that you can read and pictures you can see until you actually go out there and try it and you have that experience where you're smoking a cigar with somebody. And from a small manufacturing perspective, to be able to have that media, some of the success of my brand has been able to be picked up by these third-party media resources. And even though I'm sending out a press release, it's generated incredible buzz to be able to get people interested from the consumer standpoint and from retailer standpoint, and for them to say, hey, I'm interested. You can only do so much. And I will say that even the spirits and beer and wine and liquor industry that are out there, they can advertise. Whereas there are so many limitations on tobacco for being able to advertise. You can't just go put an ad on TV. You can't just go put an ad on the internet. You can't even put an ad on the social media platforms because they're anti-tobacco. And that makes it very difficult to get your product and get your story out there. You've got to be very cautious about what you do. And so we're very dependent on third-party media for picking it up and spreading the word. Social media and the Discord world has picked up a lot of traffic that was formerly Facebook and other social media platforms, because they're a little bit more accommodating and self-policing to make sure that people are, of legal age to be able to enjoy the product. Look, I don't want to, have my cigars smoked by anybody that is not legally able to smoke them. I want to make sure that you follow the rules. I'm a rule follower, but media is instrumental in making sure that we have our brand out there. Y'all have been very supportive at Simply Stogies of my brand and Nimmer's brand and the other brands that have been on your show. And I say that if you were to take that component out where there's a third party voice that's kind of indifferent, to the who's buying the biggest booth or who's, showing up at the trade show. If you're not there, I'm not going to get my message out there. They're not going to focus on somebody who's, a new and upcoming thing. You get to be new once, but then, that's it. And unless you're out there, doing what you're doing and buying a 100 by 100 booth, 100, that's just not in the budget for some small companies to be able to do that.
No, for sure. Dan Thompson, president of Calip Cigars, watching the show live on Facebook, which I appreciate you, Dan. That's awesome that you're watching this, especially with some of the technical difficulties that we have, which that's bound to happen every now and again. He says that media is important for several reasons, most of all, delivering a view of our amazing industry to help grow consumer base, which I don't disagree. That's ultimately the goal, is to grow the consumer base for us. If there's a larger consumer base, that's a larger audience for us. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. And then also advertising is deeper prohibition than any platform. Tobacco is flagged as unsafe advertising, like terrorism. He's not wrong. I mean, it is. There is a prohibition by the federal government on tobacco products because cigarettes bad. I get it, cigarettes bad, but this is a 100% natural, handmade product. There's no chemicals that get you addicted. It's a different nicotine delivery system. It doesn't have the same negative effects on your body as cigarettes. And until we're able, and look, because of what the PCA does at the trade show, they're able to afford to fight these fights for us, and I'm greatly appreciative of that, because the TPE certainly not going to do that. Until that changes, you're kind of stuck with us. That or you could pay Cigar Aficionado a ton of money, guys, to hawk your wares. But I mean, Dan said this a couple trade shows ago. They did a study. They had a study done to kind of see if there was a correlation between advertisers and top 25 listed. Well, there was. You don't say. There's pay to play at Cigar Aficionado. I don't know what you're talking about. Dan says, I forgot the name of the doctor. Bigger than FDA prohibition, major advertisers have counsel and write guidelines. Well, we're not beholden to any advertisers because we don't have any. Or sponsors. Except My Old Kentucky Herf. That's right. It's well past the top of the hour, but it's time for me to talk about My Old Kentucky Herf. May 11th this year. Ashland, Kentucky. Fat Ash Cigar Lounge. Dwight and company there. Stephen putting it on. Guys, get your tickets now. $225. You're going to get a 2-beer ticket. You're going to get a meal voucher. They're feeding you and they're giving you alcohol. They're also giving you a box of cigars and a chance to meet and greet with a lot of the blenders and principals behind the cigar manufacturers, your favorite cigar manufacturers, including Luciano Morales, Chef Rick from West Tampa Tobacco, our very own Lou from Lure Cigars will be there, Nicholas Saris from LH, Craig Free for Lazy Libre, Justo Aroa, JRE, Brian Matola, Cavalier, lots of great people, and I'm almost sure that McAuliffe's going to be there. McAuliffe's there every year. I think it's going to be Jeremy this year. Guys, it is such a great time. Give them a call. 606-254-0484. Let me look that up real quick and make sure that I got that right. It is 606-254-0484. I can repeat that in my sleep and probably will. Hope to see you there May 11th. And don't forget, if you want to go to that Luciano dinner, it's $100. Very limited. Very limited. You get entered into a raffle to win a Luciano golf bag. Plus, I'm sure there's some other goodies there. And you get to sit down and have dinner with Luciano, which I've done. And it is fantastic. So give them a call. 606-254-0484. There you go. That was pretty good. Right?
Tim, are you there? Tim, are you there?
I don't know. Am I here finally?
He's talking.
He's still me.
He's still muted. All right. Tim, if you come in.
Hey,
yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, holy
yes.
shit,
Holy
Tim.
crap.
Woo!
Oh, my goodness.
We're in it now. Let it all out.
Man. I apologize for all of that. That was absolutely horrible. But when you're trying to produce live shows with a mobile setup, things change. And damn
That's
it.
what happens when
Damn
you go
it.
to the PCA and you come back.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's all good. All good. I'm glad you're back, Tim. I want to get to what you're smoking because I'm tired of talking. Dan says the major advertisers like Apple, Procter & Gamble, etc., write these safe advertising standards implemented by platforms. So thanks, Procter & Gamble. Fuckers. I don't know, Tim, what do you think of all this? Like, jump in. Start talking.
Okay, so first off, you have to understand that I did not hear 90% of the first hour. I could hear like whispers. I'm like, why the hell can I hear? Like, where's this coming from? Is it my phone? Is it my screen? Where the hell is this? Apparently, I only had it set up for one headphone and not the one I had in. But anyway, hopefully you got
our IT guy.
Yeah. Well, I don't get paid. Anyway, patina. Patina.
Oh.
What is this? The Oro de Nicaragua?
Wait. That's what you were smoking while you were trying to fix all this bullshit?
Well, it's what I lit when I thought this was going to go off without a hitch.
I'll give you another one so you can actually pay attention to it. It's one of the more interesting cigars. Like I said at the top of the show, guys, there's only been a few interesting cigars so far that have come out in the first 3 months of the year. The McAuliffe Blue, and because I know Dan's watching, so I'll mention that first. The Patina Oro de Nicaragua, and the Mini Henke. And those are the three that really caught my attention. Now, I personally, for Drew Estate Blackened, I'm a Metallica fan. I'm trying to grow my hair like Hetfield.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Shut up. You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. But I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, they're like, oh, it's a cigar. It tastes like this, tastes like that. And I'm like, no, I kind of dig it. And I went in with very low expectations thinking, oh, okay. Because I'd heard from other people. All right, lit it up. I love it. So those are the cigars that really blew me away. And I love what a lot of the other manufacturers are doing. But I mean, with McAuliffe's coming in at $7 or $8, they get a 9.3 from Ryan today. Go check it out, simplystogies.com. That's insane. Which, by the way, while you're there at simplystogies.com, if you'd like to join us on the show, you can do that. It's $100 a year, $10 a month, or $10 a month. And you too can be a part of the dais here that we have. Somewhere here. I don't know where they are. They're around here somewhere. So I'm glad to welcome Tim back to the show. But Tim, give us your feelings on the PCA and media. Do you feel like they were more hostile to media this year than in previous years, or were you like, no, it was good?
I don't feel they were more hostile. You know, I mean, I felt that the same issue. Here's the only issue that I have is when we try to get into the show the hour early, we're sent an email that says we can get in an hour early, and the union that's blocking the door, they're not given that information. So it's a miscommunication thing, not a big deal, not the end of the world, but that's the only thing that like really bothered me. Otherwise, I thought media was treated okay.
Yeah, I think the manufacturers and retailers treated it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
You know, but I had somebody on the team say, you know, I don't think manufacturers want us there. And everything I'm hearing from everyone else is different. And the amount of footage that we got, just in raw interview time alone, over 7 hours.
Yeah.
That tells a different story. That is not the case. That I think that manufacturers are more than willing.
We do a really good job of making sure that we're not interrupting business. There was one interview in particular that Nick and I and Eric were at, and we had already started filming, and one of the, I'm assuming, sales reps just kind of, walked kind of in front of the camera because they were helping a retailer, and I said, cut, hold on, let's back off, let's let business get done. And then we restarted. Everything was good. So as long as we're not interrupting their opportunity to make money, no problem. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, I think we did a good job of that. I don't, we went to West Tampa several times. And they were always busy. And I told Sarah, we'll come back when you're not busy. We'll come back when you're not busy. We'll come back when you're not busy.
And they were busy the entire time.
Yeah, so we never got to, but which is fine because I'll see them at Mile Kentucky Herf here in May, and we'll get something scheduled. I'm sure with Chef Rick and maybe hopefully Sarah as well. I think that it'll be fine. I know that we've got something scheduled with Amanda McAuliffe and Al McAuliffe coming up. We've got Jonas and Miyagi from Blackbird that we're going to speak with. We've got Ben from Luxury Cigar Company. He's going to be on. We've got Lure Cigars, whoever that guy is.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a dude. He'll be on. He'll be on, and that gets us through June. And who knows who we're gonna have for July, August, September. Like everyone we talk to, like I said, they're yeah, let's come on the show. Yeah, we'll definitely do it. Like so, I'm really looking forward to what the rest of the year has to offer. It's a little weird though to come back from the trade show, and it's like in April. Like when it snowed for the first 2 days I was back. Where the fuck am I? Why is it snowing?
Hell, I almost missed the PCA trade show because we got a snowstorm. It really hit, but holy crap!
Yeah, no, it would have been terrible if you had been.
And what the week prior to that, it was like 75 degrees out. I was out on the motorcycle. I'm like, what is this garbage?
I think it's supposed to be 70 next week.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Yeah, so we got a lot of. No,
yeah,
Brian,
it's
sorry.
Iowa. Yeah,
Well,
nice
yeah,
to see you,
yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no one's seen you for the last hour and 20 minutes. Now.
Nobody's disappointed either. That's the thing that's so
Oh,
great about this whole gig.
There, Tim.
Brian specifically came on the show to hang with you, Tim. And that's what he said. When, you couldn't hear him. He was talking about he was ready to leave if you couldn't get your shit together.
I believe it. I need to get up there. I'm going to do it here within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's heard that.
Me.
Yeah, he's like, I've heard that before, Tim.
Oh, quit.
It's like it's a 3-hour trip for me.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 45 for me.
Yeah, so I mean, you're way closer.
Mm-hmm.
Way closer. Yeah. So anyway, it was a great show. Really looking forward to next year. It'll be in the middle of April, I think. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to
the middle or the end.
I think it's closer to the middle. You're gonna make me look, aren't you?
No, you don't have to look. It's okay. It's a year away.
Walk right off. You put it out there, isn't it?
Look at everybody that's on the show currently who cares right now in this time.
Nobody does. It's April 17th through the 20th. I would say that's the middle.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, you win.
So who is right? I just want to hear it. I don't hear it that often. He's not gonna say it. He's fine. Oh, so what else is going on? Like everyone's been talking about the trade show. Shit, we've been talking about the trade show. I mean, we've got Dimmer's getting ready to have a baby. Holy shit, that's huge news. That's awesome. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, Dimmer, like how scared shitless are you?
10.
Okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
They don't, they don't really, as much as you like research it and YouTube it and ask around. They don't really give you like a guide of how to deal with a smaller human. So, I mean, I deal with like a lot of adults that act like children, but not actual children. So it's new territory.
It is new territory, but I think you're going to be great. Congratulations to you and your wife. That is fantastic news.
Yeah, congrats. Is this your first child?
This is the first, yeah.
This is the first, okay. So you'll be super cautious and careful and, and then the second one will come along and you're like, just put a leash on it.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I think.
Lou?
They become progressively less of a concern, and you're less concerned for their survival. But it's amazing.
I mean, only one has to truly make it, right? The first one grew up, you're good.
Yeah, well, they all are different. I will tell you this: they're all different. I'm very blessed to have 3 grown children, and they're almost all out of the house. But they're all doing well. My daughter got engaged last weekend, and so that's a big event going on. So you have I appreciate that. We're excited. We like her fiance is a really great guy and comes from a great family. We hung out with them last weekend and then had Easter and stuff. So they're good people, but you wish the best for your kids. You just do the best you can. Never, you try to instill the values you had as a kid from your parents, and wherever you zig and zag and make the choices, you do the best you can do. And at the end of the day, they grow up to be adults, and then they got to go out on their own. And it's hard to kick them out of the nest, but our kids have been pretty good. So, but it's exciting that first child. I remember back those days. You have no idea what to do, but there's a lot of people. I know you got good family, so you can lean on the family and take some of the advice and ignore some of the advice, and you'll be all right.
That's exactly it. You take some of it and you ignore a lot of it.
They always give you, everybody gives you like their own opinion on it, and like it's very confusing. And my parents, it's very confusing. So you got one culture that's like super strict, and then another that's like not so strict. So the opinions on a lot of things are very polar opposites. So we're trying to find a good medium.
The only piece of advice I'll give you is to sleep now. That's it. That's
Oh,
all the
shit.
advice.
Absolutely.
That's the only advice I have for you.
Yeah.
I've probably had 6 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, so I'm used to it. That part's no problem.
But you don't have see here. You're missing a key perspective here, Dimmer. Like, so let's just average it out: 2 hours a day in the last, like every day for the last 3 days, right? So you're up 22 hours. So for those 22 hours, you don't have a screaming child in your ear right now. It makes a difference, man. It makes a big difference.
That doesn't sound.
Hey, make sure you do consistency. I've had
Yes.
3 kids. Consistency was always the best. Everybody gives you your opinion, but as long as you stay consistent to your values, then your kids grow up really great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That is some of the better advice I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take my advice. I'm just trying to get my kid to grow up and get married, so I got to worry about it.
Yeah, you can't take advice from me either. I have 0 kids.
You have a cat, and he's an asshole.
He is.
Tim,
He's
you're a cat
self-sufficient.
person?
Yeah.
Cat person.
I got a grandchild coming in July, and I'm ready to spoil living crap out of him and let my kids know.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not rushing that. I'm not rushing that component. They can spread it out in a few more years, like get to know each other a little more, But no, I'm not. I'm excited for the grandkids, kind of thing. Where I still got some energy left, but that's exciting. So this is number one. Is this? Do they live close by, Brian?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, because I live in a small town, they live next door.
All right. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you this: that my parents and my wife's parents, they live in the same town.
Yeah.
When we had our first child, there was literally fights over who was going to take care of the baby. We'll babysit. We'll hang. Let us take care of them. The second child, they still kind of were like, yeah, we'll come watch the kids and babysit. We never paid for a babysitter for the first several years of their life. But you have 3 kids, and they stop answering the phone. They don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from you. They're like, hey, we want to go to the movies, or we just want to go to Walmart and walk the aisles for a little bit, or just go to Publix and just not be near the kids. They're like, yeah, we're busy. We're sorry. We got the news is on, and I'm like, the news is on 24 hours a day. That's not an excuse.
No, Adam, you've got 3 kids, 2 twins. Like, how hard is it for you to find a babysitter?
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. Fucking terrible.
Stores closed on Monday. Can you watch the kid on Monday? And I'm like, oh my God, you want me to watch an infant on Monday? Okay. Yeah, they're already on it, but it's good. The next door. The only thing I got to say about that is like a grocery store. When I go to the grocery store and I fill my house, they come over on Tuesday and it's empty, and I'm like, what the hell? I just want to.
Oh, they don't grow out of that because they're always asking us when we're going to Costco. My wife and I is like, we go to Costco, every couple of weeks. We have a pilgrimage to Costco. She's like, are you going to Costco this week? And I'm like, what is this? They don't do their grocery shopping. They come over to my house.
Oh, the roles have reversed in my family. Now my parents call me, when you going to Costco? I need this. I need that.
Yep.
Adam,
I'm looking forward to that.
I think this is an interesting topic. Parents who smoke cigars, right? For me, when my kid, like, she was the reason. It sounds terrible that I got into cigars. It just sounds awful. But let me explain. It started with, and like, if you've listened to the show, you know, it started with, I just needed some time away from a screaming infant. And when she was about a year old, I was like, look, I'm going to get into scotch. Like, you know, I'll just go outside for half an hour, have a drink or two of scotch, and I'll be fine. And then it started to be like, well, a half hour, 15 minutes isn't long enough. What could I pair with scotch? And cigars was it. That's kind of how all of this started. So I remember not wanting to smell like smoke around her when she was an infant, right? And so, and even a toddler. So I, you know, if I would watch her throughout the day, I couldn't smoke a cigar throughout the day. Like, Adam, how do you find time for a cigar? You know, with 3 kids, and your kids are a little bit older, but they're about the same age as Grace. Grace will be 7 at the end of the month. Like, how hard is it for you to find time?
It's usually throughout the day. I'll usually take time off work. And then obviously after they're in bed is really the only times I've got. Sometimes if we've got like events or something that we're going to that are outdoors, I might dip out for a little bit and smoke with others, but it's not a very regular thing.
Yeah, now that they're older, like the smell, I'm not as concerned with the smell as I was when they were, you know, when Grace was tiny. Like, you don't worry about that either?
Not particularly.
Yeah. No. It's not like they breathe in secondhand smoke. It's just dead smells like a cigar.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Get over it. That's the fragrance. That's Dad's fragrance.
That's Dad's cologne.
It's my daughter's first job. She's all freaked out about everything, you know, natural and all that. And Dad, are you gonna be smoking cigars? No, I won't do that. And you gonna take them to the cigar store? Well, maybe, but no, you know.
maybe probably not. Never. How are you going to handle that with a newborn? You know, you're in the industry. You are a cigar manufacturer. I would imagine you smoke a lot of cigars a day. How are you going to approach that? How is your wife going to allow you to approach that? I think would probably be the better question.
Well, ever since she got pregnant, I haven't been able to smoke cigars at all. And, you know, so between her being pregnant, me observing fasting, I haven't been able to, like, I think I get 1 cigar a day. I have to smoke outside, like I'm doing something wrong. You know, like those chef or cooks at restaurants, like just sitting there smoking. I'm still like smoking, like chain smoking cigars as fast as I can, because I have like 45 minutes a day where I'm allowed to smoke, basically. I'm smoking outside, raining, whatever. It's cold, whatever it is. I gotta smoke outside. So it's like I'm already kind of used to it now. So I used to smoke like 3 to 4 cigars a day, which was a lot for me. I'm down to 1. Some days I don't get any cigars, so I imagine it's going to be even worse. So I don't look forward to that part. I was telling Lou that we have like probably 6 different blends we have to go through and try. I haven't tried any of them, like none of them. So my work is definitely getting affected.
It'll get better. It'll get better for sure. I would imagine though you look forward to those road trips where you're going to the lounges, retailers, trying to do events or sell cigars. I would imagine like you look forward to those.
Yeah, I got to go to I did an event in Memphis at Smokers Avenue in Memphis last weekend, and I was like, I was telling Sean, the owner, I'm like, look, I'm gonna smoke it's an all I can smoke buffet, because when I get back, I'm not gonna be able to smoke. I think I probably smoked like 8 cigars that night. And they were all the best cigars I've ever had. Like every best.
Oh God, it's weird how it changes, but it does get better. But if you have another one, like it goes back to it resets, and you're like, shit. Can I take another trip and smoke? Yeah.
I was growing up, my dad smoked a cigar in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was That was a different time, Brian.
Yeah.
I remember going on an Eastern Airlines flight when I had to go to a funeral for one of my mom's older relatives that passed away. And it was smoking. We sat in the smoking section. They had the little ashtrays in the armrest. And my mom was chain smoking Marlboros or whatever the hell she smoked back then. And I remember sitting there and there was a guy that smoked a cigar. And I was like, man, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Not anymore. I mean, what I traveled with my dad, 25 years later, and I took him up to see some of his relatives up in Wisconsin. And I had to wheel him down in a wheelchair to this like enclosure, which was like this glass box where all the smokers, like all the people were like smoking, like trying to get their fix in the middle of the airport. And I had to go over 2 different concourses to go over there. I wheeled him in, and there was so much secondhand smoke in that room. You didn't even need to light up. It was just crazy. There was people smoking pipes, cigarettes, cigars, anything. They were all sitting there shaking. I was like, this is what the world's come to. I'm like, if they just, maybe let you have a porch or go outside, just to have an open air area, but who knows?
That's exactly how I felt in the back seat of the car during the PCA trade show. I did not need to smoke a cigar. I was just like, can you put the cigar down while you eat your In-N-Out, please?
Oh, I don't want to have another In-N-Out discussion, but it is so overrated. Tim, how many bites of your burger did you take? 2? 1?
One. And then I dissected it and threw it away. That was bad.
So, Brian, how did you get into smoking cigars? You mentioned your dad smoked one in the hospital, but was it something that was always part of your dad's background?
Well, my granddad and my dad smoked White House. I don't know if you guys know that. Those were his key. My dad's a professor, and so he always just smoked cigars and pipes. And then my mom kind of teamed him out of it, and there was a big break in it, but there was always that lure that my dad would always sneak out and get a cigar. And I asked him one time, I said, what is that? Why is that so important that you go against what mom would, have to say about it? And he's like, well, it's a calming effect that you don't understand on what men have to go through. And I'm a young kid at this time. And so, it didn't really resonate with me at that time. When I got older and I'm just constantly working and I'm providing for my family, my wife stayed at home, so I had to work more. Shauna just kind of like, hey, your dad was smoking a cigar, and here's one that and that he brought from one of his trips overseas, and I sat down and smoked it, and I was like, holy shit, it was expensive. So I sat down and my mind just kind of relaxed. And I didn't realize all the duties, like I got to tend to the kids, or I got to fix this in the house, or I got to mow the yard. I just kind of relaxed because it was something else. It was I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of like a euphoria that I didn't get a buzz out of it or nothing, but I got kind of a calming effect that I understood then back what my dad used to tell me about smoking a cigar or a pipe, when he was writing his thesis or something in the house, and he had his own smoking room, and but it was always told to me that it was bad and it was kind of a bad deal. And when I got older, and then my wife introduced me into it, and she's like, and I understood the calming effect that it had on it, and that's kind of how I got involved in it. It was amazing how the family aspect came up into it. My dad just absolutely loves the fact that I got a cigar store. He comes up here as much as he can. He don't live anywhere near me, but when he does, and it's just, it's memories that cigars create that I think that is the most important part of it. Because when I smoke a cigar, every once in a while, I can remember watching my dad write his thesis or a book that he was writing, and he's smoking a cigar, and they were just, by all means, they weren't high dollar cigars, but that's what he smoked, and that kind of just sticks in the back of your mind. And when I smoked my first one, my wife, she bought me some there in Des Moines and brought them up to me, and she's like, "You need to find a way to relax because you're just constantly working. Your mind's always moving. You just can't relax." And then I smoked that cigar, and I was like a whole nother world. It was very serene, and I could see my dad doing it, and it was good. It was good, and it made me want to spread that experience, which is why I built the store. Because it was that good. It was just it's a family thing. I don't know. It's a family thing without it being family. Like all you guys, you're all smoking cigars. I feel like we're family. We're all talking about babies and anything but cigars. But it's a family thing. It brings us all together, and that's something that I didn't get. I was an over-the-road truck driver, so it's very isolated, and I didn't realize that there's so many. There's one thing that could bring multiple different people into one thing, and I guess that's why I got into cigar smoking as deep as I got into it, is just because I'm like, holy cow, this made me feel so amazing. And I understand why my dad did it when, the stress and raising a family of four and all that, and all he did, and had his little smoking room. And I got, well, my big smoking room, but I got, I really, that, and it just, that it resonated with me in a factor that just made it that I wanted to share it. And then when I started sharing it, then it just became even bigger than that. I mean, It became smoking jackets and guys that I would never talk to coming into my store, and we're having 2-hour-long conversations. And it's the beautifulness of the cigar. And when you have a good cigar, to be able to do that, when you have cigars that are able to pronounce that ambiance of what we're all guys are trying to get to, that just brings it to another level of amazingness to me. So
yeah,
I mean, that probably was way more than what you asked.
Oh, that's what it's about.
So I mean, it's important to me. My dad was a big deal in my cigar thing. He still is now, and so yeah.
What's his favorite cigar? What's he smoke out of your humidor? When I know it's not White Owls. You don't carry White Owls up there at the smoldering.
His favorite cigar is an LH Claro Churchill.
Oh.
He thinks
it's a good cigar.
That's his favorite cigar. He likes Churchills. So
That's great.
Anything Churchill. He did try your lure Churchill. He loves that. But yeah, so yeah, it's good. He loves, and now he loves the fact that I got so many more in here that he likes to try. It's like a kid in a candy store, and that's what I love. I love that. I love it when guys come into my store and they're like, "Holy cow!" It's not a gas station with a little humidor. It's an actual store, and I can try this, and it's great. It's an experience, and that's what it should be for everybody. Making cigars, when you're selling cigars, when you're talking about cigars, it should be an experience. And that's the only reason why I'm in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was very well said. This is a hobby, a lifestyle that allows you to walk into a lounge and, like you said, talk to somebody you don't know for an hour and a half, 2.5, 3 hours that you probably would never talk. Nick and I always say, from kings to street sweepers and everyone in between, this cylinder of rolled up, because we do all find, I think, a little bit of solace in it, and a little bit of comfort, and a little bit of escapism from the everyday world. I mean, I don't think we talk about it enough, but being a man is not all it's cracked up to be. It's hard sometimes, and I know there are going to be people out there like, of course, another old white guy saying it's hard to be an old white guy, but it's the truth. There are things that men go through that women don't, just like there are things that women go through that men don't. And I think that we're seeing a larger number of women come into the hobby because they're finding bit of escapism and a little bit of comfort and a little bit of solace in the ritual of smoking things.
Well, right, and it brings us together. I mean, you think about it. Me and my dad had a past just because of political differences or whatever, and we didn't talk for a long time. But when cigars got into it, man, all that went away, right? You know, I mean, he's like, "Oh, you're smoking this, and I smoke this," and we were able to reconnect as adults because you know we were close as kids, but when we got in adults, we y'all separate and stuff, and then you do stuff, and we found a way to connect with cigars, and so now, man, he can't, you know, he can't come up enough to my, you know, he can't see me enough just because we now have something to connect with, even though we might not agree on political or religious or whatever you want to say it is, but we agree on that, and that's hours of conversation. You know, who made this cigar? Why'd they make this cigar? What's the cigar taste like? What, you know, how smooth is this? I mean, there's tons of stuff that goes into conversations of cigars that just make it for a guy, no matter who you are, for a guy, it's great because we never relax. People don't realize that the guys just don't relax. We have duties to do all the time, every day, 24 hours a day. And that hour that you know, it takes me about an hour to smoke a cigar, and that hour that I smoke a cigar is awesome. And if I can share that with other people on TV or in my lounge or talking on the phone, I may not know them, but by the end of it, man, we're good friends. I mean, look at us. Look at how we've all connected. I mean, it's a great feeling, and that's what you should put into all cigars and selling cigars. No matter what the cigar is, that's what you should put into it. 100%.
No, I agree, and I think you get out. It's proportional to what you put in. So if that's what you're there for, I think if you really get a lot out of the camaraderie that comes with this and the spiritual side of things, and I don't mean that in a religious way. I just mean that as you connect with somebody on a more than just a superficial level when you smoke these rolled up dead leaves, then yeah, 100%. Like, I think that it's good for the soul. I really do. I think it's very, very good for the soul. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching the score of the Iowa Hawkeyes women team. They're down right now by a point. So I'm a little more stressed than I normally would be. I'm not even a big sports ball guy, but women's basketball all of a sudden seems to be like the thing to watch unless you're Tim. Tim watches zero sports ball. Zero.
No, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I don't know kind of where to go from there. I think that's a really salient points that Brian made.
All right.
No, you've killed the show, Brian. You've killed it. It's done. It's over. It's over.
You asked me. I'm always honest. That's the problem. I'm always honest. So please don't ask me questions you don't want to hear.
No, you know what? I got to know you a little bit better at the trade show this year. I got to spend a lot of time with you, which I really enjoyed, Brian. And I need to tell everyone this little anecdote because I think it's hilarious. We were sitting around. We did the interview with you on the like that Tuesday after the trade show there at the Airbnb in Vegas, and you brought Shauna, and Shauna was there, and she brought some family, and then they all went off to go shop, and so it was just myself, Tim, and you, and we were sitting there.
That was one of the best. This is one of the best moments of the trade show for me, by the way.
Tim stands up and he goes, "I'm hungry. Let's go eat dinner." Oh yeah, okay, whatever. My treat. Let's go. And Brian's like, "Well, I need some protein." So Tim, in his infinite wisdom, says, "Yeah, I'll find a steakhouse." All right, cool. Steakhouse, Vegas, $200, not a big deal. We go to Oscar's Steakhouse in Vegas. Now, if you've never been to Oscar's, number one, you should go because it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But it's also very expensive, which is fine.
I don't think it. Yeah.
Tim is not typically the guy who says, "Let's go to a bougie fucking upscale restaurant. Tim's the guy who's like, let's just go to Outback. It's fine. So I didn't think anything of it. And we get there, and every entree was at least $50. It was all a la carte. So your side was another 20. But it was a great time. It was fantastic. And I think when we left, I spent $500. But
and
I
it
had
was worth every penny of it.
worth every penny because I had a great meal with great people. I mean, except for Tim. And I got to know Brian a little bit better. I got to know Tim even more.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Work out, yeah.
You got half a cow.
I did have half a fucking cow.
I saw a picture of that prime rib. It looked like they just slaughtered it 2 minutes before they slapped it on the plate.
I sent a picture of it to my wife, and she said, "Did they cook it?"
Yeah. I'm going to eat what I want, and I'm going to ride the rest home. Let's go.
Let's go.
Speaking
of the ride home, because, I tried to bring this up several fucking times. Tim was not in a good place for the first hour of the show. He's now in a good place. Tim, was the trip worth it? Was the trip worth it, Tim? Did you have?
You're talking about the ride home. You're talking about the ride home.
Yeah, the ride home. Was it good for you?
Yeah. It was okay. So the whole trip driving between Vegas and Iowa, it was kind of a bucket list thing for me. I wanted to do it, so I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we, one of our first stops on day 2 of our drive, I believe. We stopped.
No, it was day 1. Day one of our drive.
Yeah.
It was on our way from Vegas. We stopped in Albuquerque because we wanted to go to Monty Cigar Shop. And if you're in Albuquerque, that's the place to go.
That's a cool ass place.
It's really nice. It's in an old dentist's office. Would you have ever thought that was a dentist's office?
Only by the chair elevator in the smoking lounge. That's the only key that.
There's a wheelchair elevator.
Yeah.
So we're on our way there. We stop. It's a first stop. I have to get rid of the half a cow from the night. So we stop for gas.
he puts the nozzle in the car and yells at me like, "Hey, when it clicks, I gotta go drop a cow. All right."
Did we skip stories? We're talking about the restaurant, and then now we're on the trip. Did I miss something on that, or what?
No, that's where we went. That's where we're at. And so I go inside, I do my thing, I come out, I feel better, at least half a cow lighter. And
it was thank you for the dinner.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was my treat. I was more than happy to do it. It was a lot of fun. Really, it was good. I just like to give Tim shit because he's like, I don't smoke $20 cigars, but I'll go to a place that'll be $500 for fucking dinner. So we go. We get to this restaurant.
You got to go to Man Cup.
Yeah.
About Man.
So we go to this gas station. I come out. Tim's like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss. I'll be back. And Tim's in there for a long time.
He's an old man. He's got a weak stream.
Well, that's what I thought too. I was just like, all right, whatever. But Tim, that wasn't the case, was it?
No. So while you were inside dropping a cow, I noticed that at this gas station on the door they have a poster for Buffalo Trace. I'm like, okay.
Now, this isn't a gas station you would think would have that kind of top shelf.
Yeah, well,
Buffalo Trace is top
here
shelf,
in Iowa, Buffalo Trace is not top shelf.
No, but no. You wouldn't think that they would have whiskey, let alone any type of whiskey collection.
I figured they'd have a small selection. So I'm like, I'm going to go in and check it out. Maybe, you never know. I walk in this place, and I look to my left where the register is, and the entire wall from one side to the other, floor to ceiling, is bourbon. It puts most of the liquor stores around here to shame. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and did my business, grabbed a water and some other things. I think that's where I grabbed the Mike and Ike's that caused me to lose my tooth. But anyway, so I get to the register and I'm standing there and I'm looking, and in the middle they have this floor to ceiling glass case, and inside of that glass case is a bottle of Blanton's. And I was like, how much for the Blanton's? And before she got the full price out, I was like, I don't really care. I'm just going to buy it. So I check out, and I'm like prancing to the car.
prancing is an accurate term for
I
what
was
he
so
was.
happy.
Like a schoolgirl who was giddy as fuck for whatever. Like he's skipping out of this fucking place, and I'm sitting in the car looking at him going, "The fuck is wrong with him? Do I want to take this next like 20 fucking hour drive back to Iowa with this guy?
Yeah.
That's how he's going to come out of the gas station." Jesus fuck. He gets in the car. And he's got this big black bag, and I'm thinking, like, was this an adult store too? Did I just miss that? Like, I don't. What's in the fucking black bag? And he pulls out this bottle of plants. He's like, "Oh my god, guess what I got? Look at this. He's so fucking excited. I've never seen a grown man this excited for fucking anything."
That was the first bottle of Blanton's I have ever seen in the wild for a price that I was willing to pay.
And he's just like, oh my god. He's taking pictures of it like a fucking Instagram influencer, fucking sending it. He's like trying to take pictures like with the background out the fucking window. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's sending it to all of his friends, like, oh, that's what I got. I got a bottle of Blanton's. And I'm like, I'm glad. He's like, this made the whole trip worth it. And I'm like, the fucking trade show didn't make it worth it? He's like, totally worth it.
Yeah.
Worth the price of admission.
The Blantons did it. And then several hours later, I was chewing on a mic and out popped a tooth.
So
I think that was in New Mexico, so it might have had something to do with a little bit of like radiation in the air. I don't know.
Radiation in the air. Yeah.
What did the dentist do about your tooth? You had a dentist appointment this week.
Yeah. They just, it was a cleaning. They looked at it, did an X-ray. I have an appointment to get what is left of the tooth extracted, and then they're going to give me one of those bridges or whatever. So,
I feel like we're glossing over the fact that you lost this tooth.
Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah.
We're sitting there, like we're in the middle of the fucking high desert in fucking New Mexico, and we're talking about the show, we're talking about our show, we're talking about how we're gonna get things out and how we're gonna organize things, and again, all of a sudden he just stops talking, and I look over and he's just like sitting there staring at nothing, and I'm like, and so I sit there for a minute, and he goes, "I lost my fucking tooth." I go, "What?" I go, "Did you really?" He's like, "Yeah." And he holds up his fucking tooth. He's like, "Here's my tooth."
I think I held that thing in my hand for like 2 hours in shock. Like, I don't know what to do with this.
I'm just like, jeez. I'm like pulling my hair. I'm like, did we go through like fucking radiation? Like, am I going to lose my hair next? Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no. So that was a trip back. It was a good trip back, except for the last. Like, we should have stopped in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Went back to Ash and Anvil. Great shop. Hopefully there'll be a lounge review of that coming soon to simplystogies.com. But go to simplystogies.com. Great segue. And check out the new review of Macallan Blue. Robusto from Ryan Mias. He somehow got his fucking hands on it before I did. While we were gallivanting around at the trade show, this guy is out making moves, doing things, whatever he's got to do to get it. I gave it a 9.3. Spoiler. But go read the review for a $7 cigar. It punches way above its belt. So congratulations to McAuliffe on that release. And check that out. Check out all of the great content, simplystogies.com. And while you're there, if you want to join us, be on the dais here every first Friday of the month at 8 o'clock from 8 to 10, as my voice continues to go. Join the LE Club. $10 a month or $100 a year. Or if you're feeling generous, $500 a year. And you're a lifetime member. That's it. And so for the next 5 years, you know what you're doing every Friday night. You're watching Tim.
First Friday.
Watching Tim fumble fuck around with live streams. So I apologize for the IT issues in the first hour. We got it all sorted out. I want to thank everybody here. Brian Boland, Smoldering Cigar, Livermore, Iowa. If you're ever in the Northwest, destination spot, great lounge. They have a square toilet. I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I would.
That's a story all in itself. That my wife has to explain that. She searched high and wide to make everything in my story unique, and so she wanted to put her 2 cents in, and it happened to be the toilet. So hey, I went with lights and woodwork and flooring and the humidor. She went with the toilet. So. Yeah, there you go.
Where's
So
toilet?
you're looking for a unique toilet.
Yeah, maybe next time I'm there, I'll try to leave half a cow. Probably not.
Oh,
I
please
think
don't.
you should. You should have a. You should have a sit.
Tim, host to Clear the Air. Thank you, and our IT guy for figuring out all the problems. I appreciate it.
Everything that goes wrong is my fault.
100%.
Tim, you're doing a great job. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, thank you.
Lou Cross, Lure Cigars. Guys, if you haven't tried Lure Cigars, go get it today. Luxury Cigar Company has it. Look,
There you go.
It's in a lot of different shops. Lou, do you want to tell us where the folks can find it other than luxury?
Oh, there's one. You can go to our website, lurecigars.com. You can see our list of retailers. And I know that Brian and Shauna up at Smoldering Cigar do carry it. So you can give them a call. Appreciate that.
I am smoking it right now. It's an excellent cigar. I definitely think that everybody should try it. I have great success with it. If you're a retailer listening, it is a seller. So
that's great. That's great. Well, I appreciate the support and smoke great cigars and tell tall tales.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nimmer Valakari Cigars. Guys, if you haven't tried Valakari, you're definitely missing out. Nimmer, what do you got going on? Tell the folks where they can find your stuff. And is the Lumineer out yet? Is that a thing?
No, yeah. I'm smoking the Churchill version of it now, but it'll be out this year. We still have we have one release, the Astronomia, which is a Connecticut broadleaf. That's coming out first. It'll be out in the next about 2 months or so. But yeah, as far as retailers go to valacari.com, valacari.com, and we have all of our online and B&M retailers on the website.
Great cigars. Check them out. They're really, really good. I did have the Astronomia at Ash and Anvil in right outside Kansas City. Fantastic cigar. All of your cigars are great. Check them out. Valakari Cigars. Thanks, Nimmer, for joining us tonight. Of course, Adam, I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out with us. He's got nothing to sell. Other than...
Good content. He's part of the Simply Stogies content development team.
Who, Adam?
Isn't he?
No, he just yells at me and tells me that I do a shit job.
Somebody needs to do it.
He's the guy. He keeps me down there. Guys, that's it for us. Again, My Old Kentucky Herf, May 11th. 606-254-0484. Give them a call. Tickets are limited. They're going fast. There are a few left. You need to get your tickets now. May 11th and on May 10th, dinner with Luciano. $100, I think, is what that is. Ask about that when you call. That's even fewer tickets available for that. It's going to be a great time. I hope to see you there. I thank them for sponsoring all of our PCA coverage. And we'll be back with an After Dark next month. First Friday of May. I will be getting ready to head out to Ashland, Kentucky, Fat Ash Cigars for My Own Kentucky Herf. So I'm sure that will be a topic of conversation. Maybe we'll get Stephen or Dwight to jump on next month and kind of give us a preview of what's going on. But guys, until then, make sure you check out all of our PCA coverage, simplystogies.com. Part 2 drops on Monday. Part 3 the Monday after that. And the Monday after that, we've got to Clear the Air where myself, Nick, and Tim we'll give you the lowdown and the skinny of everything that went down at the PCA trade show in a more in-depth way. Until then, guys, stay smoky, friends.
Good show.
Good show, guys.